Next topic, my regrets as an automation, PLC, DCS, and SCADA engineer in 2025. The boss presents, my regrets as an automation engineer in 2025, ride in dirty with Niagara 4, the FT700Plus Impala, and the BACnet Chica Scene 1, leanin' in the FT700Plus Impala, full boost confessions. Let me lay it down straight from the airbagged seat of wisdom, y'all. I done rode this automation road full throttle DCS, SCADA, PLCs in more time zones than a BACnet device got data points, but yeah, I got regrets. Not the wish I bought Dogecoin kinda regrets, but real I could've been tighter, slicker, and quicker if I knew what I know now. Leah G front passenger seat, co-pilot of the console, beauty with the boost mapping swagger. She the one who reminds me, boss, why'd you ignore problem-solving discipline in college? Why'd you treat C++ like it owed you money instead of a turbo for your brain? She right. I shoulda treated coding like dyno tuning, tighten every function, test every subroutine. Miriama K back left seat, toolbox queen, and Boolean enforcer. She glared from under her shades and said, you ever wonder what your game would be like if you practiced communication skills like you practiced I/O mapping? Oof. That hit harder than a blown relay. I used to mumble through meetings like a soft-spoken SCADA node. Nowadays, you gotta speak with spark, crisp, clear, confident. Sky B back right seat, layering graphics like she's stacking power in a drag slick. She hit me with the truth bomb, you stayed too long in the comfort zone, boss. You locked in Siemens like it was the only ECU in the world. She's right. One brand ain't a kingdom. I shoulda hopped from Rockwell to Omron to Schneider like I hopped datalog curves. Learn one, then another, stack 'em like air tanks in the trunk. Scene 2, the regret race begins, cybersecurity, networking, and the mismatched mindset. Now let's pop the hood and talk real regrets, the kinda oversights that make an engineer wake up like a BACnet alarm point at 2 a.m. Back when I was riding through power plants and oil rigs, we all said, that controller ain't talkin' to no cloud. She local only. And just like that, I slept on cybersecurity. I let the OT firewall down. If I had trained on industrial cybersecurity early, I'd have been rollin' into Industry 4.0 like I owned the firmware. Networkin'? Don't get me started. VLANs, IP mapping, subnet masks, I treated all that like it was optional DLC for my SCADA system. Wrong move, boss. That stuff's your suspension geometry. Without it, you bottom out on every logic speed bump. Scene 3, protocols, documentation and details, the overlooked horsepower. Now the Tweedle Twins in the trunk, Tweedle Lady Zee and Tweedle Sandra, they don't say much, but their logic folders run deep. They whispered through the CAN bus, boss, you schemed over industrial protocols like you was cruisin' past warning lights on a test lap. Modbus, Profibus, Ethernet/IP? Each one got its own torque curve. And I shoulda tuned into 'em like I was tunin' for race day. Every missed protocol was a missed opportunity. Same with docs. Yeah, the wiring diagrams, the P&IDs, the loop sheets, I thought they were just decoration for the panel shop walls. Turns out, they the treasure map to solving logic mysteries. I shoulda dove in early and decoded 'em like a car thief with a laptop. Scene 4, shyness kills speed, the networking that matters most. Back in the day, I was quiet. Kept my questions locked up tighter than a panel door with a broken latch. I watched my seniors like a historian, but I ain't ask 'em nothin'. Big mistake. If I'd have opened my mouth and networked with mentors early, I'd have lit my career like nitrous. Scene 5, social media, the ECU dashboard you never shared. Now y'all know I got 38,000 followers on LinkedIn. YouTube buzzin'. But lemme tell you, I started late. Too late. Your knowledge ain't power if nobody sees it. If your portfolio ain't online, you basically run in a twin-turbo ECU with the hood shut at a car meet. So now, when the chicas post a screenshot of their graphics, I tell them don't hide your code. Show your work. Drop your loop logic. Let folks see how your PID gains got soul. Scene 6, the boss backfire, what I'd do differently if I had to tune my career like I tune the FT700Plus. I'd treat problem solving like engine diagnostics daily, dirty, hands-on. I'd talk like a comms protocol direct, reliable, and well-structured. I'd master protocols like they were gear ratios, each one key to acceleration. I'd dive into cybersecurity like it was my final firewall. I'd speak up, ask questions, chase mentorship like I chase quarter-mile times. I'd build my social profile like it's my dyno chart, visible, validated, and venerated. Final scene, don't let the regrets drive now, the compressed air supercharger kicks in. That's your constant learning drive spinning even when the rest of the shop goes quiet. Airbagged suspension? That's your adaptability. Keeps you floating even when the road's busted. And me? I'm still riding. FT700Plus hummin'. BACnet chicas tuned tight. I might have started slow, but I'm finishing wide open. So if you just getting started in automation, listen to the boss, don't just install systems. Build legacies. Don't just draw graphics. Tell stories. Don't just follow tutorials. Break the format. And whatever you do, don't hide your tune file. FT700Plus Impala, still boostin'. The boss, out. Cue boost hiss, folder save, and the sound of a BACnet chica droppin' a flawless logic stack at 3 a.m. Daily progress checklist for the Boss Automation Redemption Project, Ride in Dirty with Niagara 4, FT700Plus Impala, and the BACnet Chicas project codename, FT700Plus Redemption Ride System Framework, Niagara 4 plus FT700Plus ECU Pit Crew, Leah G, Front Passenger, Logic Analyst, Miriama K, Back Left, IO Wrangler and Boolean Checker, Sky B, Back Right, HMI Queen and Visualizer, Tweedle Twins, Lady Zee and Sandra, Trunk Schematics Goblins Whisper and Protocol Truths, 1. Morning Diagnostics, System Check Review. Yesterday's problem log, did we solve it or band-aid it? Leah G throws shade if you skipped it. Verify FT700Plus status, ECU mappings clean? Boost not peakin'? Look for funky logic loops or double triggers. Check Niagara 4 dashboard for stale points or flatline trends. Sky B hates dead data like bald drag slicks. Airbag suspension calibration, any dips in adaptability? Tune your day like ride height, adjust for terrain. 2 problem solving reps, boosting brain muscle. Solve one problem without Stack Overflow or AI cheat codes. Leah G wants raw torque, not copied code. Attempt a new ladder logic or function block. Bonus points if it don't explode on download. Dive into one new protocol doc, Modbus, BACnet, etc. Lady Z says, don't treat protocols like bumper stickers. 3 communication training, speak like a protocol, attend or host a stand-up meeting, or peer review. Speak with clarity, not like a corrupted BACnet packet. Write or record a 2-minute tech update summary. Miriama K says, no mumbling, no monotone. Command the comms. Review feedback received, are you adaptin' or deflectin'? That's your packet integrity right there. 4. Learn one thing out of your comfort zone. Explore a new PLC brand, Allen Bradley, Omron, etc. Sky B says comfort zone slow ya down like soft tires. Tinker with HMI tools or graphics layering. Add one visual element that ain't just functional but fire. Practice VLAN setup, subnetting, or IP mapping. That's your suspension geometry, don't drive sloppy. 5. Cybersecurity fortification, build your firewall. Check firewall rules for the week, any backdoors? Even if it's Sunday. Hackers don't rest. Validate user access logs, who's touching what. If BACnet chicas didn't authorize it, lock it down. Apply one best practice from OT cybersecurity guides. Think of it like anti-lag, prevention, not panic. 6 docs and diagrams, decode your schematics. Open one new wiring diagram or P&ID. Don't flinch. Tweedle Sandra says, docs ain't dead weight, they're torque specs. Trace a fault or feedback loop using the drawings only. No shortcuts. Let the docs guide you. Archive documentation updates to shared folder. If it ain't in the repo, it didn't happen. 7. Network like it's a NOS button. Reach out to a senior, peer, or mentor with a real question. Not just hi, make it specific. Open the garage. Join or post in a forum, LinkedIn group, or chat. You build community like you build circuits, one node at a time. Follow up with someone you met recently. Stay top of mind, like your PID loop should be. 8. Social media tune-up. Show the world your dyno sheet. Post one update to LinkedIn, GitHub, or YouTube. Doesn't have to be polished, just real. Comment meaningfully on someone else's post. Miriama says, give props, build bonds. Capture screenshots or clips for your portfolio. Your tune in your future job hunt daily. Don't let your brilliance sit in draft mode. 9. Nightly wrap up, hood down, save the tune journal. What you learned today, even the fails. Leah G says, mistakes are spark plugs if you fire 'em right. Review tomorrow's task list, preload your mind. That's pre-boost, baby. Back up your work, always. Twice. Once local, once cloud. Don't lose your logic to a power surge. Final gear ratio. Did you progress today? Did I challenge my comfort zone? Did I communicate clearly with someone? Did I add one layer of cybersecurity? Did I learn or document something new? Did I share knowledge or network online/offline? FT700Plus Impala still rolling. Don't ride dirty with regrets. You ain't just a tech, you're a tuner of futures. Stay low, ride high. The boss, air hiss. Save file. Exit stage left with logic stack blazing. 2. Alice's automation regrets in Wonderland, a mad engineer's tale of PLCs, SCADA, and the Queen's croquet mallet. Chapter 1, down the rabbit hole of industrial regrets. One perfectly ordinary afternoon, Alice was sipping tea, labeled "Drink Me, 24V only," when zoom, the white rabbit sprinted past, his pocket watch flashing, late for DCS commissioning. I'm behind schedule. My PID loops are wild. My cybersecurity is non-existent, he shrieked, dropping a broken HMI screen and a firewall manual down the hole. Before Alice could say curiouser and curioser, she tumbled after him, splat, landing in automation wonderland, where PLCs talked back, SCADA screens had tempers, and the Queen of Hearts demanded all alarms be acknowledged. Or else. The Mad Hatter's regretful tea party. Alice found the Mad Hatter, the March Hare, and the Dormouse having tea at a table made of broken Siemens S7-300 CPUs. Welcome to the Career Regrets Tea Party, the Hatter cackled, pouring tea that kept switching between should have learned Python and ignored Cybersecurity 101. We're all mad here, declared the March Hare, smashing a Rockwell PLC with a croquet mallet. I only knew one brand, now I'm obsolete. The Dormouse, snoozing inside a Modbus RTU cable, muttered, ZZZ, should have documented my code, ZZZ. Alice sipped from a cup labeled Eat Me, Factory Reset BZZT, her arms started flailing like a hunting actuator. The Cheshire Cat's vanishing career advice. The Cheshire Cat appeared, but only his smile and an Ethernet cable. You want career success, he grinned, flickering in and out like a bad network connection. Depends on where you want to go. I don't know where I want to go. Alice cried. Then it doesn't matter which path you take, he laughed, before dissolving into packet loss. The Queen of Hearts trial of the knave of bad practices. A trumpet fanfare blared as the Queen of Hearts stormed in, riding a Festo pneumatic cylinder and waving a tuning screwdriver. Off with his gain settings, she roared, pointing at the knave of hearts, who was caught hard-coding IP addresses. "Your Majesty, I swear I just copied the old project files," the knave pleaded. "Guilty," screamed the Queen. "Sentence him to legacy system maintenance." The crowd gasped. A fate worse than death. The caterpillar's cryptographic wisdom perched on a Tridium Niagara mushroom. The caterpillar blew encrypted smoke rings at Alice. "Who are you?" he asked slowly. I'm just an automation engineer," Alice stammered. "Wrong," boomed the caterpillar. "You are an engineer who ignored cybersecurity, skipped documentation, and stayed in one brand like a frog in a well." Alice coughed. "What should I do?" "Eat the other side of the mushroom," he said. "The one labeled Learn OT Security." The playing card SCADA disaster. The ace of spades frantically tried to build an HMI with no alarms. "I'm in undefined state," he wailed as the screen turned into blue soup. The two of clubs groaned, "I told you to trend your data points." The King of Hearts sighed. "Just use auto-tune, dear." Alice's escape from legacy systems. Alice, now 10 feet tall from eating the upskill mushroom, stumbled upon the mock turtle and the griffin, who were singing, "Round and round the setpoint goes, where it stops nobody knows. If your code's a tangled mess, you'll debug it nonetheless." With a final bootloader beep, Alice woke up back at her desk, a TIA portal warning blinking, "Cybersecurity update required." She sighed, opened LinkedIn, and typed, "Looking for industrial cybersecurity courses. Also, anyone need a PLC programmer who knows Python?" Moral of the story: the white rabbit equals missed deadlines from poor planning. The Queen of Hearts equals managers who demand perfection but provide no training. The Cheshire Cat equals vague career advice from LinkedIn gurus. The caterpillar equals the mentor you should have listened to. The Mad Hatter equals engineers who refuse to learn new tech. In automation wonderland, the only way out is through continuous learning, or the Queen will sentence you to COBOL maintenance. Next time, Alice vs. the Jabberwocky of legacy code. Alice's absurd automation adventure in Wonderland, a mad engineer's daily checklist. Chapter 1, Down the Rabbit Hole of Productivity. One dreadfully boring afternoon, Alice was reading the world's dullest PLC manual when zoom, the white rabbit sprinted past, his pocket watch flashing, late for daily stand-up. "I'm behind schedule. My cybersecurity is exposed. My documentation is a lie," he shrieked, dropping a broken HMI and a firewall manual down the hole. Before Alice could say curiouser and curiouser, she tumbled after him, crash, landing in automation wonderland, where PLCs talked in riddles, SCADA screens judged her, and the Queen of Hearts demanded daily checklists. Or off with their points. The Mad Hatter's unhinged daily stand-up. Alice found the Mad Hatter, the March Hare, and the Dormouse having tea at a table made of melted Allen Bradley CPUs. "Welcome to the daily scrum of chaos," the Hatter cackled, pouring tea that switched between eat me, debug mode, and drink me, factory reset. "We're all agile here," declared the March Hare, smashing a Rockwell PLC with a croquet mallet. "But our sprints never finish." The Dormouse, snoozing inside a Modbus RTU cable, muttered, "ZZZ, user stories, ZZZ, technical debt, ZZZ." Alice sipped from a cup labeled Daily Retrospective BZZT, her arms started flailing like a hunting actuator. The White Rabbit's panicked task list. The White Rabbit hopped in, frantically checking his Niagara 4 workbench. "Oh dear. Oh dear. I'm late for my morning diagnostics," he cried, reading from a scroll. "Morning diagnostics, system check, review yesterday's problem log, did we fix it or just bandage it with duct tape? Verify FT700Plus status, is the ECU mapping clean or did someone hardcode IPS again? Check Niagara 4, dashboard for stale points. Sky B hates dead data like a flamingo hates croquet. Airbag suspension calibration, if your adaptability's sagging, you'll scrape logic on every bump. Alice blinked. This is absurd. No, said the Cheshire Cat, appearing as just a floating Ethernet cable. This is Scrum. The Queen of Hearts ruthless retrospective. A trumpet fanfare blared as the Queen of Hearts stormed in, riding a Festo pneumatic cylinder and waving a tuning screwdriver. Off with their unacknowledged alarms, she screamed. The Knave of Hearts trembled. Your Majesty, I swear I documented everything. Liar, shrieked the Queen. Your wiring diagrams are scribbles. Your firewall rules are Swiss cheese. Sentence him to legacy system maintenance. The crowd gasped. A fate worse than death. The caterpillar's cryptographic wisdom perched on a Tridium Niagara mushroom. The caterpillar blew encrypted smoke rings at Alice. Who are you? He asked slowly. I'm just an engineer, Alice stammered. Wrong, boomed the caterpillar. You are an engineer who ignored OT security, skipped subnetting, and treated protocols like optional DLC. Alice coughed. What should I do? Eat the other side of the mushroom, he said. The one labeled Learn VLANs. The playing cards Scrum disaster. The ace of spades frantically tried to update the Kanban board with no Wi-Fi. I'm in undefined state, he wailed as the screen turned into blue soup. The two of clubs groaned. I told you to document your tasks. The King of Hearts sighed. Just use sticky notes, dear. Alice's escape from technical debt. Alice, now 10 feet tall from eating the upskill mushroom, stumbled upon the mock turtle and the griffin, who were singing, round and round the backlog goes, where it stops. Nobody knows. If your sprints are all in vain, you'll refactor it again. With a final bootloader beep, Alice woke up back at her desk, a TIA portal warning blinking, daily stand up in 5 minutes. She sighed, opened LinkedIn, and typed, looking for a mentor who understands Wonderland-level project management. Moral of the story: the white rabbit equals missed deadlines from poor planning. The Queen of Hearts equals managers who demand perfection but provide no training. The Cheshire Cat equals vague career advice from LinkedIn gurus. The caterpillar equals the mentor you should have listened to. The Mad Hatter equals engineers who refuse to learn new tech. In automation wonderland, the only way out is through continuous learning, or the Queen will sentence you to COBOL maintenance. Next time, Alice vs. the Jabberwocky of technical debt. 1. My regrets as an automation, PLC, DCS, and SCADA engineer in 2025. The Boss presents, My Regrets as an Automation Engineer, FuelTech Impala Edition, Tridium Niagara 4 Chaos at Max. Now y'all sit back, strap in, and let that airbagged suspension drop low like your confidence in a fried PID loop. The boss ain't holding back today. This ain't no sob story. We talkin' regrets, automation style, with a FuelTech FT700Plus Impala full of attitude and all-star chicas running the show. That's right, Leah G, Miriama K, Sky B, and the meter slingin' Tweedle Twins, Lady Zee and Sandra. Welcome to 2025, baby. Where regret rides shotgun, and we still got one foot on the throttle. Seating chart, because details matter in the drag strip and in automation. Driver's seat, Leah G, the FuelTech FT700Plus ECU herself. She's callin' shots, launching logic, and boosting your decision tree faster than you can spell Modbus. Passenger seat, Miriama K, that Niagara 4 framework coolin' in her chair like she owns the BACnet highway. She's got her hand on the logic dampers, airbag system dialed to don't play with me mode. Backseat, Sky B, BACnet incarnate, smilin' like a Cheshire packet sniffin' cat. Always networkin', whisperin' who's your device instance now. Dashboard glued like vintage analog gauges, Lady Z, left meter, 0 to 100, and Sandra, right meter, 100 to 0. They don't just show data, they tell a story. And that story is, get your details right or get left on the staging lane. JJ, with all that success you still got regrets. Damn right I do. See, I've run with the big dogs, multinational crews, government orgs worldwide, but just cause your Impala's fast don't mean it's flawless. You gotta know what you'd do different if you pulled into the pit again. So let's drop the needle, let that compressed air supercharger spool, and talk truths. First, burnout, the degree game. If I had to start my engineering degree over again, I wouldn't be caught slippin'. Back then, I was treatin' math problems like potholes, just tryin' not to hit 'em. Now I know, problem solving is your nitrous bottle. C, C++, flow logic ain't about memorizing syntax. It's about rewiring your brain like you rewiring a broken 420 mah loop. That's your muscle memory. That's how you build boost. And communication? If I could rewind that data logger, I'd have got up in front of every webinar, seminar, and virtual barbecue I could find. If you can't talk your logic, don't expect folks to follow your flowchart. Second, launch, comfort zones kill horses. When I got out of school, I learned Siemens and thought I was king. But a real boss don't just drive one brand of ECU. You gotta push limits. Alan Bradley, Mitsubishi, Delta, Honeywell. Learn M like you're tuning for race day. PLCs. Great. But don't stop till you're speaking SCADA like it's your second language and DCS like it's your first X. I shoulda stepped out of that cozy garage sooner. Third pole, cybersecurity, the ghost in the wiring. Back in the day, we swore up and down, these systems ain't touchin' no internet. Well, surprise, the world changed. While I was chillin' in my airbagged comfort zone, cyber threats rolled in like a backfire through a wideband sensor. If I'd focused on OT cybersecurity earlier, I'd be years ahead. Now I'm catching up, running audits on firewalls and ICS networks like they were broken rear ends. I'm in it deep now, but I wish I'd launched that protocol scanner earlier. Fourth sweep, networking ain't just for devices. I ain't talking IPS and VLANs though. Yeah, learn your VLANs, switches, and how to diagnose a rogue broadcast storm like it's stealing boost. I'm talking human networks. I used to be scared to ask questions, afraid to look dumb. That cost me. If I'd been rollin' up to senior engineers, a skin what's what like I was tuning their timing tables, I'd have lapped myself by now. Fifth gear, details, baby, they're everything you ever try fixin' a problem blind. That's what it's like ignoring the wiring diagrams, the P&IDs, the panel schematics. I used to skip 'em, thinkin' my logic would tell the story. Nope. That's like buildin' boost with no map sensor. Now I preach this, read every doc like it's the script to your race. You ain't winning if you ain't detail drivin'. Final hit, social media is your data logger. If you ain't postin' your journey, you might as well be racin' in the dark with no data log. I started postin' on LinkedIn early, thank the fuel gods. That platform got me contracts, visibility, jobs that pay like a championship win. You learn a new PLC trick? Share it. Build a logic for a tank farm. Post it. Build your presence or be invisible. Nobody hires a ghost. Wrap up, the needle don't lie. I've had wins, big ones. But I still see what I'd do better. So here's what I'll leave ya with, like a final tune before you hit the strip. Learn to solve problems like Leah G solves timing maps. Communicate like Miriama K deploys logic, calm, clear, powerful. Network like Sky B flings BACnet packets through the ether. Study docs like the Tweedle Twins, read gauges obsessively. Share your journey or stay in the shadows. Don't let fear slow your launch. Don't let pride keep you out the loop. Learn, share, adapt. And always preload your animation frames, because one day that needle's gonna sweep from 0 to 100, and you better hope you logged everything on the way up. Until next time, hit that subscribe, drop a like, and keep your logic loops tight and your air ride low. This FuelTech Impala ain't slowing down for nobody. The boss out. 2 Alice's Automation Adventures in Wonderland, a mad engineer's guide to industrial regrets. Down the rabbit hole of industrial control systems. One perfectly chaotic afternoon, Alice found herself staring at a flickering SCADA screen when, poof! A harried white rabbit in an Allen Bradley jumpsuit dashed past, muttering about late for the DCS commissioning, and PID loops going wild. Before she could say Modbus TCP, Alice tumbled after him into a world where PLCs talked back, HMIs had attitude, and the Queen of Hearts demanded perfect alarm management, or else. The Mad Hatter's SCADA tea party. Alice stumbled upon the most bizarre maintenance shutdown she'd ever seen. The Mad Hatter, March Hare, and Dormouse were having tea at a table made of melted Siemens S7-300 CPUs. "Your cybersecurity patches are late," the Hatter screeched, pouring tea that alternated between eat me, factory reset, and drink me, safe mode. "We're all obsolete here," cried the March Hare, smashing a Rockwell PLC with the Queen's croquet mallet. The Dormouse, curled up in a Profibus cable, sleepily murmured, "Should have documented my ladder logic, ZZZ, should have standardized my tags." The Cheshire Cat's vanishing career advice. A grin appeared in mid-air, followed slowly by an Ethernet cable and half a switch. "Looking for career success," the cat purred, flickering like a bad network connection. "That depends on where you want to go." "But I don't know where I want to go in automation," Alice cried. "Then any protocol will take you there," the cat laughed before dissolving into packet loss. "The Queen's ruthless alarm management trial off with their unacknowledged alarms," roared the Queen, riding in on a Festo pneumatic cylinder. Before her stood the Knave of Hearts, accused of hard-coding IP addresses and skipping change management. "Your Majesty, I just copied the old project files," the Knave pleaded. "Guilty," screamed the Queen. "Sentence him to legacy system maintenance." The crowd gasped, a fate worse than termination. The caterpillar's cryptographic wisdom perched on a Niagara 4 mushroom. The caterpillar blew smoke rings that formed SSL certificates. "Who are you?" he asked between puffs of encrypted vapor. "I'm just an automation engineer," Alice replied meekly. "Wrong," bellowed the caterpillar. "You are an engineer who ignored Layer 2 security, treated VLANs as optional, and stayed with one PLC brand like a frog in a well." The mock turtles lament by the shore of an OPC UA server. The mock turtle sang with the griffin, "Round and round the setpoints go, where they stop. Nobody knows. If your code's not documented well, you'll be debugging it until you're old." Alice's awakening. With a jolt, Alice found herself back at her workstation, a TIA portal alert blinking, "Cybersecurity update required." She sighed, opened LinkedIn, and began typing, "Seeking industrial cybersecurity courses. Also, any PLC programmers who know Python." The moral of this madness: the white rabbit, running late from poor planning. Law 18, don't build fortresses, stay mobile. The Queen, demanding perfection while providing no training. Law 19, know who you're dealing with. The Hatter, stuck in obsolete tech. Law 23, concentrate your forces on modern skills. The Caterpillar, the mentor you should have listened to. Law 29, plan all the way to the end. The Knave, caught cutting corners. Law 30, make your accomplishments seem effortless. Alice's journey, continuous learning. Law 35, master the art of perfect timing. In automation wonderland, the only way forward is through constant adaptation, lest you end up maintaining COBOL systems in the Queen's dungeon. Now, who's ready to minify their rabbit hole? 3.1 My regrets as an automation, PLC, DCS, and SCADA engineer in 2025. The boss presents, My Automation Regrets, FuelTech FT700Plus Impala Edition, Tridium Niagara 4 Chaos at Max. Listen up, grease monkeys. We're dropping the airbagged suspension low today to talk about regrets, the kind that'll make your PID loops oscillate harder than a rookie's first tuning attempt. I'm the boss, and this ain't your grandma's career advice. We're doing this proper, with the FuelTech FT700Plus Impala as our battleground, the BACnet chicas riding shotgun, and enough compressed air supercharged wisdom to blow your OPC-UA server clean off its rack. Seating chart, because details matter like torque specs, driver's seat, Leah G, the FT700Plus ECU herself. She don't ask questions, she executes. Feed her a problem, she spits out solutions faster than a Modbus RTU timeout. Passenger seat, Miriama K, Niagara 4 framework in the flesh. Hand on the logic dampers, foot on the airbagged suspension controls. Smooth operator, but cross her and she'll drop your frame rate to single digits. Back seat, Sky B, BACnet incarnate. Grinning like a Cheshire cat sniffing unsecured MSTP traffic. Always networking, always whispering who's your device instance now. Dashboard, glued like analog gauges in a 90s tuner Tweedle Lady Zee, left meter, 0 to 100 the rising pressure of skills you should have built Tweedle Sandra, right meter, 100 to 0 the countdown to relevance if you don't law 18, the fortress that wasn't, aka comfort zones kill careers. Back in the day, I treated Siemens like it was the only ECU in the game. Big mistake. A real tuner don't just know one system, they collect protocols like the Queen of Hearts collects severed heads. Rockwell. Omron. Honeywell. Should have stacked M like compressed air tanks in the trunk. But boss, you say, I'm good at Studio 5000. Cool. Enjoy maintaining that SLC 5/04 until retirement. Law 19, know who you're dealing with, the White Rabbits panic, the White Rabbits always late, late to learn OT security, late to VLAN tagging, late to realize his SCADA system's wide open like a throttle body at what? I was that rabbit once. Thought air gap meant invincible. Then Industry 4.0 hit like a 100-shot nitrous purge. Now, I audit firewalls like I'm tuning fuel maps. That's power. Law 23, concentrate your forces, the Mad Hatter scattered Tea Party, the Hatter's table's a mess, half-learned protocols, abandoned Python scripts, a Mitsubishi PLC manual used as a coaster. I used to be that guy. Dabble in everything, master nothing. Now, Niagara 4's my weapon. BACnet's my ammunition. Tridium's my battlefield. Specialization wins wars. Law 29, plan all the way to the end, the Caterpillar's encrypted smoke rings, perched on a Niagara 4 mushroom, the Caterpillar blew SSL certified smoke in my face, without documentation. Ouch. Used to treat P&IDs like bathroom wallpaper. Now, I trace IO like it's the holy grail. Because in court, trust me, bro don't hold up. Law 30, make your accomplishments seem effortless, the Cheshire Cat's vanishing act, Sky B taught me this, let your work speak so loud, your LinkedIn doesn't need to shout. 38K followers didn't happen because I begged. Happened because I built. Posted code snippets like Dino sheets. Shared war stories like race logs. Your portfolio should hum like a turbo at full spool, loud enough to get noticed, smooth enough to seem easy. Law 35, master the art of perfect timing, the Queen's croquet mallet of opportunity, the Queen don't wait for alarms to acknowledge themselves. She acts. I waited too long to ditch RS logics for Python swap air gap for zero trust treat LinkedIn like my digital dino now. Every post is a timing adjustment. Every connection is a gear change. Final tune up, the boss redemption checklist, learn like Leah G tunes ignition maps, methodical. Precise. No wasted spark. Network like Sky B routes BACnet packets, every device matters. No loose ends. Document like the Tweedle Twins, read gauges, obsessively, religiously, or crash. Post like your career depends on it, because it does. The needle's sweeping, folks. 0 to 100 comes fast. Only question is, you ride in shotgun when it hits red line? Subscribe ain't just a button. It's your pit pass to the next level. The boss, mic drop, boost spike, exit stage left with a perfect 11.5 AFR, cue the BACnet chicas dropping a flawless logic stack at 3 AM. 2. The boss presents, Alice's automation adventures in Wonderland-inspired Land, FT700Plus Impala edition, Tridium Wonderland Logic Unleashed, Fire an absurdist Wonderland remix on my automation regrets fire scene, the White Rabbit's pit garage, location, down the data hole, somewhere between a VLAN and a DreamQ pneumatic hiss. A bagged FT700Plus Impala, coated in iridescent Niagara 4 logic goo, squats low to the floor, like it's about to whisper trade secrets to a VFD. Alice, fresh out of Logic 101 and fueled on Drink Me protocol packets, drops through a rabbit hole made of Cat6 cable, falls past cascading PNID diagrams, and lands face first on a bacon-scented SCADA interface powered by compressed air and regret. Seating chart, FT700Plus Impala of insight, because where you sit in this chaos mobile of career reflection matters like PID loop stability on race day. Driver's seat, Leah G, the FT700Plus ECU herself. She doesn't guess, she maps. Every ignition point, perfect. She stares ahead through a windshield of missed opportunities. Trademark. Passenger, Miriama K, Niagara 4 framework got her fingers in every logic module like a queen ruling through seamless tag hierarchies. Suspension ride height adjusts as she judges your outdated firmware. Backseat center, Sky B, BACnet queen sniffing your unsecured MSTP traffic like a grinning Cheshire cat who just found a device without password protection. Her lipstick. MacShade, default login. Rear gauges, Tweedle Lady Zee and Tweedle Sandra. One dial goes up with every skill you should have learned. The other winds down toward irrelevance faster than you can say legacy system. The tale of J.J. Alice, automation regrets from the Wonderland Circuit Law 18, the fortress that wasn't, Siemens land. I stayed in comfort castle too long, J.J. Alice muttered, staring at a scorched ladder logic scroll. She'd once thought the Siemens fortress was all she needed. Like the Queen of Hearts, she had yelled, I have S7. Off with the rest. But over the next hill was a Rockwell rabbit running control logics with the velocity of a BACnet packet on caffeine. She had no Honeywell sword. No Omron shield. She was a knight with a flowchart and no armor. Moral. Comfort zones are just castles with broken firewalls. Law 19, know who you're dealing with. The White Rabbit's panic. He ran around the VLAN clock tower screaming, I'm late. I'm late. For a very unsecured SCADA fate. J.J. Alice once trusted air gaps like they were Tea Party promises. Then the Jabberwock of Industry 4.0 blew a Modbus-shaped hole through her assumptions. Now, she does deep packet inspection like the Queen does croquet executions, without mercy. Law 23, concentrate your forces. The Mad Hatters abandoned GitHub. That Hatter's code. 42 PLC 17 HMI Dreams 0 working integrations. His tea was warm, his backups weren't, and his documentation was written in reverse Polish notation. J.J. Alice once danced at that same party, spinning SCADA plates and forgetting which protocol to sip from. But then Sky B whispered, specialize or be digitized. So she burned the tea table and built a BACnet integrated Niagara 4 palace instead. Law 29, plan all the way to the end. The Caterpillar's version control without documentation. J.J. Alice shivered. She once deployed a logic stack with no backups, no comments, no naming convention. It was all mushroom fumes and chaotic nodes until she met the Caterpillar, who rolled a vape cloud shaped like a dependency diagram. She now treats wiring schematics like sacred scrolls and documents like royal decrees. Law 30, make it seem effortless. The Cheshire Cat's cool portfolio Sky B vanished into a puff of BACnet frames, leaving only a LinkedIn banner with 38k followers and the phrase, "You either automate, or you evaporate." JJ Alice took notes. No more begging for attention, she dropped code like mixtapes. Now her posts come with metrics, screenshots, and loop ladder logic remixes. Law 35, perfect timing. The Queen's croquet mallet of momentum. The Queen didn't wait for deadlines, she fired flamingo mallets before the bug ticket was even logged. JJ Alice used to hesitate. Missed the moment to move from RSLogix to Python. Waited too long to treat LinkedIn like a professional dyno sheet. Now, every post is a Spark advance. Every comment, a boost trim. The executioner of irrelevance stands idle, because she's ahead of the clock. Final Wonderland tune-up, checklist from the Caterpillar's pipe and the Hatter's teapot. Learn like Leah G, every logic pulse has purpose. No wasted scans. Communicate like Sky B, whisper in BACnet, scream in results. Document like the Duchess flings pepper, excessively. Aggressively. Network like the Queen's garden party, everyone matters, even the hedge. Post like the Jabberwock is watching, because it always is. Closing transmission, spoken into the Impala's boost gauge, the fuel map of your career. Don't lie. Every missed protocol is a pothole, every ignored firewall a ticket to Wonderland's junkyard. So next time you hesitate to open that new protocol, to speak up in a code review, or to post your breakthrough on LinkedIn, just remember, the white rabbit ain't coming back to remind you. You're already late. But Wonderland runs on timing. JJ Alice, the boss checkered flag, leaves the scene through a Cheshire-shaped logic gate running 11.5 AFR and full boost. Checkered flag top hat QBACnet chicas flawlessly tagging each other in a midnight git pull request, while the Caterpillar exhales one final encrypted cloud shaped like subscribe. Poof.